this video, I'm going to show you how I made the Stray Cat video. Interested? Let's go. First, let me just share a little bit of the equipment that I used. I have a Canon EOS M50 mirrorless camera, and it takes great video. I didn't quite have this video in as good a focus as I should have. That's my bad, not the camera's bad. It's an excellent camera. I'd highly recommend it. It's probably considered one of the lower level of these type of cameras, DSLR or mirrorless, but I think it's excellent. I also used umbrella lighting, very inexpensive. You can get that, on Amazon or wherever. It's not very expensive at all. It spreads or diffuses the light so that it gets pretty soft light on the performer. And then I also used video editing software called Cyberlink's Power Director, the most recent version. It's excellent software. I'll have more to say about that in just a bit as well. Now, to accomplish this effect, you need to put your camera on a tripod, put it in one position, and shoot all three performances without moving the camera or its settings at all. That's key. And how I did it was I first shot the guitar and the lead vocal. Now, in order to do that and keep in sync with the other parts, I used a metronome or click track so that I could play it back and then perform with that metronome or click track. I did that for all three performances, so I kept in time, and then also had the metronome or click track at the beginning of each recording so that I could have a spot to sync all three recordings in perfect time. Okay, we're in Cyberlink's Power Director, my video editing software. There's better software out there, more powerful, for example, Adobe Premiere Pro. But boy, for the money, I don't think you can beat the value of getting Cyberlink's Power Director. So I'm bringing us into the session where I've already cut the video so that I've got the three parts, but they're not in sync with one another. I just put a start and a stop point. I don't know if they're exactly the right points. That would be difficult to do, but this software, along with other software, allows you to sync by audio. So I'm going to click that button, and it's going to take all three videos and put them in complete sync with one another. Let me expand this out, and you'll see now they're starting where they should. And I'm going to put the starting point for all three together. See this blob here? You can tell this is where I actually started counting to 8. So I'm going to go right before that, highlight all three videos, cut them, get rid of that section, and then now I have all three videos in sync with one another, starting at exactly the same place. So at this point, what I've got to do then is to make it so that you actually see my three performances together. And that, by the way, is not me. That is my son in this session with me at the same time. And I used him for a certain reason. He wasn't very happy about it, but that's what sons do. So I give him some credit. And so the way to do that is to use something called a mask designer or the mask feature. And I'm going to click on this second part, go to designer and click mask designer. And that's going to allow me to put a mask on the video. And a mask, they hide certain parts and then they show other parts, but they're not hiding. So I'm going to use this mask. It's just a big old rectangle. And you can already see the bass player and my son trying to come through. I'm going to take this maintain mask aspect ratio out, take the sides of the mask and extend them. And then watch as I pull this over to the left. Up, there's the cajon player. Now, because I made so many mistakes and wasn't able to record both of these exactly the same time, it's not exactly the same shadowing. You see that? And so I've got to sort of figure out how to fix that. That's why I had my son there. I was hoping he could cast the same shadow I did, but he's shorter than I am, and he wasn't standing up to the mic like I was. Anyway, it's a good idea. It just didn't work. So what I'm going to do is I can't go that far. I'll take off the bass, or this far I'll take off my leg. I've got to go somewhere in the middle, like say around here. But you can tell this line between light and dark. So this software allows you to feather the radius to sort of make that line of demarcation not so noticeable. And you can see as I click this that it's doing something with the shadow. Now, let's go back a little. Something like that, maybe. There. It looks like the shadow of my head right here, and yet it combines both. So I'm going to leave that, hit OK. Well, now let's mess with the third track, do the same thing so I can add the guitarist. All right, so I have the same idea. I want to use this mask, and so there's the bass player. Let's go ahead and take this maintain aspect ratio out. We'll pull this down. If I could just do it, there you go. Pull this up. And the reason I do it is because of that feathering. I don't want it to feather the bottom. And so I'm going to put this kind of in the same place, like maybe around here, and then also feather it. There, that's really close. And then to the right, you can see the guitar is trying to come through. Let's pull this over. It still has that feathering, and somewhere around here maybe. That looks pretty good. Okay, let's click OK. And there you have it. So I'm just going to leave this like it is. I'm going to save it. Save project as Stray Cat Strut. And then I'm going to come back to this and bring the audio file, which I'll talk about in a second, into here. That's a better audio than the camera audio. Take the camera audio out, put the recorded audio in, and sync it with these videos, and hopefully that will sound really good. Okay, now that I have the videos ready, let's turn to the audio. I use dynamic microphones in recording all these vocal parts, and also the cajon as well. I didn't mic the guitar or the bass, but actually used a direct box and shot that directly to my recording software. It's not the best way to go, but it worked in this particular instance. I did, however, send from the direct box a line to a small amplifier so that I could hear myself play as well. Also, I used a digital interface, a Focusrite Scarlett 18i20, and ran the microphones into the interface, from the interface into the computer, so it could receive the audio that I was putting in there and turn it into a digital signal and send that to my digital audio workstation, which was PreSonus's Studio One 4. I think it's an awesome digital audio workstation and would highly recommend it. Nearly anything out there will work. This is the one I prefer, and I love it. And that's how I'm going to be able to mix these audio parts together to make it much better sounding than if it was with just the camera microphone. Okay, so here is my recorded session into Studio One 4, and here are the different parts: the lead vocal, the harmonies, the guitar, bass, the cajon, and here's the click tracker, the metronome that I used to keep myself in time when I was playing all these parts individually. What I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this session to hopefully make it sound a little bit better, a little bit more palatable to the ear, and increase the fidelity of the video. And so just a couple of things of what I'm going to do, just so you have an idea, in case you've not ever done this before but would like to try it. Take, for example, this second harmony. Now you can see I've done my singing. You can see these blobs of recorded audio, but there's this stuff right in between it. Well, what that is remember that microphone was picking up more than just my vocal, and I was hitting that cajon fairly hard, so it actually is picking up the cajon. So let me solo that out and you'll hear what I'm talking about. You hear that? Well, I don't want that on the video. I've got it right here. So I'm going to take that out and just leave that vocal as well as those finger clicks or finger snaps. Another thing I'm going to do, for example, is I'm going to take this guitar track and let's just solo it so you can hear it. I'm going to add a rockabilly sound to it, give it some character so that it sounds a little bit better. It actually makes sense in the song. And that's just a few of the things I'm going to do to make this track sound a little bit better. And then when I'm done, I'm going to mix them all down into a 2-track stereo left and right track and bring that audio file into the video editing software and sync that up with the videos. Take off the camera audio, just use this audio, and that hopefully will make it sound a little bit better. Okay, let me get to work. I will see you at the video editing software in just a bit. Okay, we're back in CyberLink Power Director, and I need to import the audio file that I mixed on Studio One. So let's do that. And there it is. It's under Studio One, Project Stray Cat Strut Releases. So let me, whoops, I've got to go ahead and add another audio track. So let's open that up, and now I can move this down onto the timeline. So it is not now in sync with these. I've got to sync them, so we'll do the same thing. I'll just take these last two and hit sync by audio. And there it is. They are now in sync. And by clicking on this video, it shows the starting point of where this audio file needs to be. So I'll click on that, get rid of this stuff. And now I'll just move these two back up to where they were, 3 and 4. Okay, so now all 4 are in sync as far as where to start. Now it's just the ending. So let's just find a good ending point. That's good right there. And I'll highlight them all, split them all, and get rid of that stuff. So all I have to do is add some finishing touches like a title. I like to put my initials on the bottom right corner of all my videos just to show that I made them. Which, by the way, if I had a logo, that would be a little bit better. I'm not that creative. If there's any artists or creators out there who'd like to help me out, make a logo and send it my way, that'd be awesome. You can help an old musician out, and I'd appreciate that. And I'll put that down there instead of my initials. And then what I'll do is I'll hit produce, and that will make this into a final MP4 video. And there you have it. That's how I put together the Stray Cat Strut video. If you have any questions for more detail, let me know and I'll do my best to answer your questions. Hopefully some of this was helpful to you. And if it is helpful and you do your own videos, send them my way. I'd sure love to see them. And if you've got some tips that would help me improve, I'd certainly love that as well. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it.